If you've been hearing a little bit more in the news, stories about natural disasters, more and more often, maybe once every few months, you're definitely not alone. There's a really interesting question here. Why are we seeing more natural disasters? So, one thing that comes to mind, and perhaps is the first thing that comes to mind for many, is the question, are natural disasters increasing, or we're seeing more natural disaster events as a result of climate change? The simple answer, yes. There's a lot of climate scientists that really show that the effects of climate change isn't just an Earth that is heating up, but it's an Earth that is actually more conducive to natural disaster events. An Earth that allows the conditions for natural disasters to happen more often and become more severe. A study shows that compared to the 1960s, the 2010s had up to 10 times more natural disaster events. And the projections for the damage of natural disasters globally reached $200 billion per year. And that doesn't even take into consideration the fact that there's tons of loss of life. That's just considering the infrastructure damage or the geological damage. What about the emotional burden and the emotional damage that a lot of these events can take? So this really is a part of the discussion and it's really important. How is it that climate change makes these natural disaster events worse? Well, a lot of it has to do with climate science, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that when temperatures are higher, and when the global temperature continues to rise on average, that means that the conditions for forest fires are easier because the air is drier, which allows the fire to spread easier. The drier conditions also allow for droughts to become even longer, and that means that there's going to be a lot of areas that have water scarcity. There's also these kinds of conditions where rising sea levels allow for the sea lines and the shorelines to become a little bit more violent in the event of any kinds of tsunamis. And the actual hotter air in general allows for things like hurricanes to gather up more speed. So there's a lot of connections between natural disasters and climate change. And that's why these issues truly go hand in hand. And if we don't want to see more loss of life, if we don't want to see more loss of infrastructure, and if we want to make sure that we live in a sustainable and healthy Earth, we got to tackle these issues together. Thanks for watching.